It's Mom and Pop Video Shop.
Welcome to Mom and Pop Video Shop. I am Joel. I am sans my usual compatriot Tyson. He could not be here. However, I am joined by the one, the only, Victor Gabriel. I said that right? I said your last name right?
Yeah, no, that's my name.
Okay, good, excellent. Of RFN Pictures, director of Blood Gorge, and some other stuff maybe we'll talk about at some point. Yeah, man. So, Victor, thank you for joining me here in the Mom and Pop Video Shop.
No, yeah, Joel, thanks for having me, dude. This is so cool.
Yes,
I
am, I think, known at this point by my like two people who watch these on occasion. I am known as someone who loves to have on indie filmmakers. I love indie artists of all stripes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fancy myself one as well. So I love talking to people like yourself. Now, you reached out to me on Instagram.
Yes.
About your movie, Blood Gorge. And you were like, hey, man, check out my movie, Blood Gorge. And I did. I actually watched it twice.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So, but before we get into details and all the good stuff, do you mind giving like the quick pitch, the IMDb synopsis, what have you, of Blood Gorge for those that don't know?
Of a synopsis of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just my friends and I being murdered. It's all it is. Like, I really there's some really cool locations in the area, so we just wanted to try to film us running around there. It's a horror movie similar to something from the 80s. Like, I literally just wanted to do like a slasher thing to kind of see if we could do like a vague attempt at a movie. So it's a bare bones slasher, but it's my friends and I doing the whole like let's go party in the woods thing and then getting killed off. But I think its heart and its charm lie in wanting to showcase special effects and showcase my brother's photography and showcase like local music and stuff like that. So it's kind of the synopsis is bare bones, but I think the other things make up for it. It's just it's a ripoff of any old school slasher from the 80s.
Yeah, but let's be frank, every slasher movie is pretty much a ripoff of
oh yeah,
slasher movie. Like Friday the 13th, at the end of the day, they were trying to take advantage of what Halloween had done. So it's going on in perpetuity.
I mean, and then then Halloween versus Black Christmas, and then you could go Black Christmas versus
Black Christmas.
Black Sunday.
You can't see it, but I have an original Black Christmas theatrical poster right here. It's actually when it was called Silent Night, Evil Night in Canada.
Oh yeah.
And so Black Christmas is one of my all-time favorite movies. The original, only the original.
I mean the remake
2006, the 2006 one, I find entertaining as hell. Yes.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
It is.
I am not a fan of the 2019 one. I kind of hate. I hate that movie. Bro.
I've still never seen it, bro. Like,
don't. You keep your mind pure and innocent and believe there are only two Black Christmas. One is a classic, and the other one is just crazy balls to the wall fun.
Yeah.
The world is perfect.
So I have a confession though about Black Christmas. The first time I watched it, I thought it was incredibly boring.
I could see somebody. I saw it fairly young, and it was a movie that my parents had told me they had seen. They told me about it when I was a little kid, and I was it really scared them. And then combine that with it actually ties in a little bit with the whole Ted Bundy thing, and I'm from Florida, so that was always and I remember my dad telling me how they had like not run it on TV because it was right around when the whole Ted Bundy thing. So like it had like this mystique for me when I first went into it. You know what I'm saying?
No, the lore is far more important, honestly. And before I go any farther, I do love that movie. I've seen it like 5 times since.
Yeah.
But it's grown on me. It's one of those ones that you revisit and you're like, nah, that was better. And then you have to watch it because it's Christmas, and then you watch it and it's like, it's really grown on me. And I wasn't like super young. I was probably like 15 or 16 the first time I saw it. But it's just I don't think it clicked with me the first time. But then you look back.
I also think if you go into it not understanding that prior to that movie, you hadn't, at least that I'm aware of, you hadn't had really a lot of the tropes of the POV of the killer. And there have been a few, but not to that degree.
Yeah.
Like Peeping Tom, I know he had used that, but not like to the degree the calls are coming from in the house. All of that stuff is new with that movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to consider that time frame and what it helped establish.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's super pivotal. And it's like you said, I mean, I think Peeping Tom is cheating because it kind of had all that stuff from the 60s all in one film, you know? So it's like we can all just go back to Psycho and Peeping Tom and then call it a day. But
yes.
Yeah,
for sure. But I will say this, Blood Gorge, dude, super impressed, man. Like, number one, and I realize, you know, you're being humble about like, oh, it should be my friends goofing off. But it was. It feels like a real movie.
Oh,
and B, it's really well shot. Like, your brother, chef's kiss, man, did great. And the effects are great. Like, and it's actually, there's humor in it that works. Like, I mean, dude, I was impressed, man.
Yo, thank you. I think it's one thing. If it's one thing I contributed to all the things you just mentioned, it's a little bit of the humor. I kind of had this impression that it should be something like a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode come to life. Yeah. So it was kind of like Simpsons meets like the Prowler, or like you know, that was how I conceived of it in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, my brother's a photographer and he just crushed it. And then you know, Kate, who did our effects, is a Savini trained student, so she just
that's awesome.
Yeah, she just knew what to do with like $0, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it showed. It legitimate. Like, there were some moments. I don't want to give anything away, and I mean, it's
give it away.
It's like 45 minutes, right? Give or take.
It's 40 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, everything from, I mean, I'll just say it, the dildo scene to the just the burn victim thing at the end, dude. Jeez, like, that was brutal. The intestines, and that, by the way, that was kind of, it was great. I loved the first time because of the actor, and I'm sorry, I probably should have, I have the IMDb page in front of me, but it doesn't say like character names, so I don't know who's who. But the actor who's getting his intestines, you know,
Ali,
he did great because he really sold the horror and terror of that moment, but yet it's so friggin' absurd. Yeah.
It's so absurd.
But I love absurdity, so that it worked for me.
Me too, because I also think that I mean, if you were actually watching someone be murdered or like having their intestines pulled out, it's such an absurd thing. Yeah. And I don't know how someone would react in that situation.
Your brain wouldn't even process it.
You won't.
My kids were watching something on YouTube where it was like, what is it with Omegle? I've never been on it. It looks creepy to me. The idea that you would like just do this random video chatting with strangers, but it's like pranks that people do. And there's this one where this guy's sitting in a chair, and then you know suddenly you're in somebody's room, I guess, talking to them. Perfect.
Are we talking about the bald guy?
I've seen the bald guy who does like the thing where like yes, I've seen him. Yeah. And there's another dude who looks a lot like Pennywise. Why am I brain farting on his name? Bill Skarsgård. He kind of looks like Bill Skarsgård. And but this is a different dude who, it's like the guy sitting in a chair and his buddy comes up behind him with a baseball bat and just smacks him. I mean, and you hear ding, and he just flops forward and totally still. And everybody's reaction is almost uniform laughter, which I don't know if that means that everybody who sees it is a sociopath. I don't think so. I think the reaction to something, because you think about it, in that moment, you might have just seen somebody die. Like, legitimately might have seen somebody die, or certainly get horribly assaulted. And yet they're all like, huh, what?
I think it's because
you don't know how to handle it. You don't know what
we're all desensitized, I think, is what it is.
Too. Yeah, that is a factor. But I think to your point about, like, when you saw some guy getting his intestines pulled out, your brain, I think we don't know how to process something like that. It's like when you see a real dead body. If you've ever seen a real dead body, it doesn't look real. It looks, like in movies, it looks more real to me than in real life, which is weird. Like, it's a weird thing. But anyway, point is, I want to say kudos to you and everybody. You guys did great, man. It was.
Thank you.
I love that sort of DIY. Let's put on a show. Attitude and aesthetic. I'm a massive. I like old school shot of video horror. Shot of VHS. I
Me
love
too.
feature. Yeah, I love that. So I got like 100 and some odd freaking. It's become a bit of an obsession. And I love regional horror. And are you familiar with Joel Haver? He's on YouTube. He's got a huge channel, like 2 million subscribers or whatever. I recently found he's been around forever, like for like 4 or 5 years. Okay, so this dude is like, he makes feature-length films and he just puts them out on YouTube for free. And he's a really cool guy who's very much about like being true indie. And that attitude, and they improv a lot of his movies. A lot of improv. And I don't know, I just respect the hell out of it, man. Because the thing I've always battled the most in myself is perfectionism. And so to see people who just go for it, I have massive respect for. So, but anyway, I just want to say that was one of the things that jumped out at me about your movie, is I felt like you guys were just going for it. I love that. I love it.
Dude, no, Joel, for real, I truly appreciate that. Definitely shoot me a message later with like, just to remind me what his page is or whatever. I'd love to see it.
Oh, yeah, he's very cool.
But like shot on video dudes from like the 80s and 90s, man. Like I love Tim Ritter, and we're from Florida too originally.
Oh, really? Cool. What part?
South Florida.
Okay, cool. I was born in St. Pete, so.
Oh yeah, like what, Tampa area, West Coast.
Yep.
No, that's sick. I moved up here a bunch of years ago. I was born up here in Michigan, and then I moved when I was like a teenager to Florida, and then I just moved back up here like 5 or 6 years ago. So, but I hadn't started doing this type of thing until like 2 years ago, if that. So it's just it's a new development.
So what got you into wanting to do it?
I've always wanted to, like, my brother and I always like talked about making movies when we were younger, but like, I don't know. I think we had a camera and we'd do skate videos, and then we would do, he and I did the music thing, and we'd make music videos for people. And then I was just like, why aren't we just making a movie? Especially because he's like the photographer of the two of us. And then I made a found footage movie on my own without him, because it was like, I just wanted to see if I could do it, make a movie type of thing. And then he got on board after that.
Was that Cruel?
Yeah. I brought a copy to show people just in case, but I have it.
Oh, dude, that's a great clamshell, man.
Isn't it? It's cool, right? Is
that for sale?
Yeah, I only have a few of these left, but we made like 20 or 30.
Well, let me know after we're done, because I want to buy one.
Oh no, I'll send you one, bro.
No, brother.
They cost like $2 to make too.
Okay, well, I'm all for supporting indie filmmakers, so I'm happy to support it.
I appreciate it.
Okay, all right.
But I made that first, and it's like an hour long, and then Vince helped me with just some of the sound issues I was having, because he's also like a music engineer. So when he helped me with that, it was just like, all right, let's film a movie. And Blood Gorge was supposed to be about an hour long too, and we fell a little short, but we filmed it in 4 days like straight, and we just flew some of our friends up here and just ran around town.
So did you have like a locked in full screenplay, or did you have like more like an outline and you improvised?
No, I have never written a screenplay in my life until our latest movie that we're about to film is called Hellmare. I had to write a script for that. But Blood Gorge, I wrote like 8 pages of script maybe, and we turned 8 pages into 40 minutes. So nice. I'm not complaining about it, but
great.
Yeah. A lot of it was like, I would write a couple sentences like, oh, we need to talk about this, or like, this is what's happening. So we would make some shit up on the spot. And then, Vince is setting up the camera, and me and whoever will be like, all right, so this will be the joke, or like, we'd fuck it up. And then it's like, all right, do it again. Cause now we got a joke in there. So we would just sort of make it up as we went along, but I had sort of an outline, you know what I mean?
The story beats, like you knew the basic direction you wanted to go. You just needed to. That's cool though, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I dig the idea of improv filmmaking, because I think it also lends to. Now I'm gonna get pretentious as shit.
No,
but like it's like verisimilitude, right? There's like an honesty, like when people. The problem is, I think with a lot of people, actors or non-actors, it's like you got to say the line this way. Unless they're really seasoned with doing that, it's hard to not sound like you're just reading a line. I mean, it's so funny because I know Kubrick gets a bunch of crap for, you know, running his actors through the ringer, doing 100 takes or whatever. But he was an interview with him where he talked about, for him, he wanted actors to say his lines like they were their own thoughts. And the problem is that most actors, it's very hard to find one that's so, I guess, disciplined that they've got it so locked in that you have to do it dozens of times before it just becomes rote, like it's as if it's coming out of their own mind. So I get why he did it. That would personally, as a director, drive me insane. I'm more like, hey, we got it in one. Let's go.
Let's keep moving. Especially when
my ADD kicks in, man. I'm like, let's go,
big
bro.
Time.
Yeah,
dude. And Kubrick's like my favorite director of all time too. So I could sit here and talk about Stanley Kubrick all day. Yeah. But yeah, no, when you have millions of dollars and all
years, the time in the world.
Literal years to film a movie. It's like, you do it, dude. Make Harvey Keitel walk down that aisle for 120 takes until he leaves the set. Like,
exactly.
Do it.
Exactly. Yep. 100%, man. That's awesome.
That is not the position I'm in, and nor will it ever be. But it's a cool thing though that dichotomy of cinema exists, where there's people that do something like that. Spend more time kicking Harvey Keitel off set than I will creating an entire movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think both ends of the spectrum are just as valid as far as filmmaking goes. Cause like, I like the mumblecore thing too, you know, like Your Next is a great horror movie and a perfect example of that, where it's like, they just write the beats for the most part, or like a loose script. And then just go fucking crazy, and that movie kicks ass. So it's like,
I finally saw the puffy chair for the first time.
That's one I've still been meaning to see for the longest.
I really, it's like, look, it's not for everybody. That's why I always feel like I have to add these caveats to the stuff that I like. It's not for everybody, but if you appreciate that sort of spontaneous, improvised, guerrilla. There's something about that, man. I dig that. Just go for it. And there's no excuse. It's like, I got $150 and this little crappy mini DV camera, you know, although you did say skating. I'm curious. I'm sure I'm a mite older than you are, but were you of the era where the Sony VX-1000 was still like the skater's cam of choice? Because I feel like that was a thing going into like the early 2000s and then.
No, I know of that camera. We never had that. We were just working on a Handycam.
Okay, got it.
You know, just like it was a Sony basic flip screen thing that every kid had. You know, the one that you got for Christmas in like 1999 or whatever, and it was awesome. But I'm not really the technical one of the two of us. Like, I don't really know shit about, you know. We would get cameras or whatever, and I have a camera that I filmed, you know, my movie or Cruel on, but it's never been my forte. I've always just wanted to do like tell stories type of thing. Also, wait, how old are you, Joel?
I'm 49.
49,
bro. I'm kissing right up on the half century mark, bro.
Right, dude. That's sick. How's that feel?
Weird. Like, I mean, it doesn't. It's. I have a feeling I'll wake up and it'll feel no different. I'm not one of the, I don't get super obsessed with the whole age thing.
No, I mean, you can't. Otherwise,
I joke about it a lot, but
yeah. No, I mean, I'm gonna be 37, so I feel you, because like,
you're old.
I know. Even like pushing 40, I just feel like, oh my God, you know, like,
you know what the thing is, bro. And I think around in my early 40s is when I started like getting obsessed with, cause I was also working in a corporate job, and, you know, being in a cubicle, it wasn't the worst job in the world, but turns out me and a cubicle are not friends.
It's not for everyone. Yeah,
it really isn't. But I started becoming a bit obsessed with this idea of like late bloomers, and the idea that, you know, because we get it. We have a culture, I think, that very much buys into the bullshit that, if you haven't figured it out by the time you're 22, you're screwed. That is such utter BS, dude. Because I tried making movies when I was in my early years. I made one feature, some shorts, blah, blah, blah. I didn't appreciate jack shit about what I was doing. My head was so far up my own ass. Whereas now, my kids are older. Yeah, I've got 3 boys. They're all teenagers. They can actually help me make stuff. We started this YouTube channel up a couple years ago. I've been getting back into it, and it's like I realized, dude, I'm like this is the perfect, because I don't need. I don't feel like I have to. Oh my God, I gotta make it in Hollywood or otherwise. I do nothing. Like, I don't care. I have no interest in that. Zilch. None. People think I'm full of crap. My friends will be like, "Oh yeah, you know, if you got a call." No, I really legitimately mean I do not care about that. I just like the creativity. I just want to be creative and just make shit and make cool, fun shit, and that is all. And it won't be for everybody. And that's why when I find stuff like Blood Gorge or any of the other people we've had on the show, I just, it gets my juices flowing. Not to get weird.
No.
Yeah,
dude, that's what gets my juices oozing too, man. Like, it's weird because just to go off of what you said, how everything has changed in the landscape of cinema and movies and whatever. It's like, honestly, if things were still the way that they were 20 years ago, like theatrical only and streaming wasn't a thing, I wouldn't even be in this position where it's like, maybe it's time to make a movie. You know what I mean?
Exactly, dude.
So everything is cyclical and everything is circumstantial and everything is coincidence. It's never like, and that just sort of says something about how the whole, if you don't have it figured out, like you're fucked thing is irrelevant. It's pointless.
Dude, you could be 75 and get a wild hair up your ass and pick up a camera and go make a movie with whatever friends you have that are still alive.
Bro, if a 75-year-old person grabbed a camera and made like a $400 slasher movie, I would buy 10 of them.
Of course I would. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Because what it is, you respect the fact that, you know, I remember I went back, like I had gone to college and then I left before I was supposed to be done. And I went back, I was in my mid-20s. And then, but when I remember being there and seeing a couple of old guys, they were like in their 80s, dude. They had like, literally, they had like backpacks on. It was the cutest freaking thing. Like they legit looked like kids going to school. And I'm in my mid-20s thinking, good for you, man. I have no idea what their backstory was. I don't know. I'm sure they'd lived their lives and had jobs, but they're like, you know what? F it, bro. I'm retired. I'm going back to school. And it's just that kind of attitude about whatever it is that you always wanted to do. Yeah. Do it. Just do it.
I couldn't agree anymore, man. Like I resonate with that fully because it's just, I don't want to see people get beat down by the age that they become. You know what I mean? Like that. Like creativity is not for it. Doesn't give a fuck what age you are. So we shouldn't give a fuck what age we are, I guess.
Right. 100%.
And sometimes it's hard to sort of overcome that because, of course, especially in this day and age with the open door of you know, all these channels of allowances to give us these platforms to do it. It's like also comes the chance to see everyone else's work, and then you compare yourself to others, then you know.
The thief of joy, my friend. The thief of joy is comparison.
Right. Yep. It's a double-edged sword type of thing, and because I feel like 20 years ago, if you're creating art, it's just you compare yourself a lot less because you're seeing a lot less, and now that we have more channels to do our own thing and we have this freedom, it also comes with a burden of those same circumstances that are we don't want to be weighed down by. But so
I will, as one who 25 years ago was actually trying to make shit, I could vouch that actually nothing is different in that regard. Meaning, I remember constantly comparing myself, but the problem was all I had to compare myself to was Spielberg or Scorsese. Yeah. So suddenly you're like, I'm not that. I know I'm not that. But, or even in a way, what was kind of good and bad, as I was right in high school in that era of when Clerks and Mariachi and Reservoir Dogs all hit. So that was where our head was, you know, like anybody my age, like in your early 20s, you were like, oh shit, man, I got to make the next fill in the blank. And it's like, if that became there's always a pressure point. I think the thing I'm noticing, and maybe it's just, again, getting older, like when I see a guy like this Joel Haver guy, I'm guessing he's like 30, maybe. I'm inspired endlessly by seeing a guy, you know, that age, because his attitude is very much like, no matter who you are, go grab a camera. You're a filmmaker. Go make stuff. There's no, there's this generosity of creative spirit that I just appreciate. Because I feel like anybody that tries to talk people out of doing their creativity, bro, no, man. You need a hug, my friend.
I agree. And there's this thing I've been saying lately. It's apathy is a universe killer. And I just feel like if you're going to like tear somebody else down, it's kind of like it's soul crushing. And if you're crushing someone's soul, you're literally just destroying like like their entire universe. And it's a shame that we do that to each other. I could never be the one to tell somebody not to do something. So I would hope nobody would impart something as vicious as that upon me. But or you for that matter, or anybody, because it's a shame. It's like we should all be like supportive and uplifting, even if our shit sucks. And I mean, our shit kind of, it doesn't, I don't want to say it sucks because like other people contributed their time, but going back to comparing our work to others, it's like it's hard to not do that. And so
I would say what and actually I'm going to totally rip off Mr. Joel Haver has a great first name. I will say that for starters. But secondly, he said something because he does not just his own movies and shorts and animation. He also does like these sort of like, I won't call them how-to videos. They're more like just creative inspiration. He's like, you know what it is? He's like a super young David Lynch. If you ever watch David Lynch's interviews, like he he just has that, you know, that kind of creative mind where he's just pushing you to try to be your best creative self kind of attitude.
Yeah, always. He's so inspiring.
Oh God, yeah, I've gone down some rabbit holes. And this is the one plus about getting older. You learn, Victor, is that you had a train of thought, and then the son of a bitch goes right through.
Oh yeah.
And it'll come back to me. I'm not like so far gone. It'll eventually come back to me. I know I was talking about Haver. I was going to rip something off that he said.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Right before that, there was something you said right before that got me talking. God dang it.
What did I say?
You were talking about your movies. Oh, I know what it is. See, it's still there, man. Still there. You made the comment that, you know, not that your movie sucks, but that you feel like you compare it, you know, to other people.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think, besides the fact that comparison's a thief of joy, this is what the thing that Haver said. He talked about if you make about like a body of work, like if you're just making whatever, you know, you can't predict how, and I think, actually, now I take it back. That may have actually been David Lynch that said that. So they're all bleeding together in my mind. Somebody awesome made that comment, and it hit me. If you just focus on the body of work, any individual thing doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, how it turns out, as long as you, as the creator, there's always going to be some nitpick, right? There's always going to be some, we should have tried that different, blah, blah, blah. Always. You can never... Yeah. It's like, what is the old line about art is never, it was like Da Vinci or somebody said it, art is never finished, it's just abandoned. You know, you know, and it's like, I've heard that adapted to like filmmaking. I think Peter Jackson said a movie's never finished or it's just abandoned, or George Lucas, somebody said that.
Someone huge.
Yeah, someone way bigger than ever be. Exactly. And that's the other thing, success. What's success, bro? Like to me, you made a movie. Most people will never do that. That is success. Like, the problem is we put the money, the dollar sign in front of success, and therefore, what I haven't made. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? You made a movie. Like you had a creative outlet. You shared it with people. People have responded to it. What more can you effing ask for, dude? As you are sailing off, not to get dark, but as you are going and sailing off this mortar coil, right? The moments you have in your mind, assuming, you know, it's all still there, are going to be those memories of like what you had. Tell me how much money you got in the flipping bank. You don't know because you can't take it with you. So what you can take with you is that feeling, that knowing that you went for it and you did it, and you don't have to give a shit what anybody else thinks. You don't have you don't have to give a shit what you think. And in fact, I'll do you what better. I'll say this for myself. It is none of my goddamn business what person out there thinks about me or what I'm doing. None of my business. I'm not in your head. I'm not going to tell you how to think. So don't tell me what I should do or how I should think.
That's so I shouldn't let that invade my mind. You know what I mean?
100%.
No, every single word you just said, I agree with like 1,000 times over. And that's my attitude these days, is like to not give a fuck, you know, and that's, I think if we gave a fuck, Blood Gorge probably wouldn't exist, you know?
So every little thing, like, we probably should have a script with everything planned out. And I'm speaking from, that's younger me talking. Okay? Like that was how I could get. And I had several projects that I didn't do because I get so mired in the details. That's why part of me, because I have a couple of like SVHS cameras, like VHS-C cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Part of me is supposed to take one of those and just go make something. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, because I know, because the aesthetic, I know it very well because I grew up with it. And I know by most people's standard, back to worrying about what everybody thinks, right? It's garbage. But there's a part of me, but I love the freedom in it, right? There's a freedom to say, yeah, I know that. Don't care. Go make something. It's just about making something. So sorry, off the box. I'm going to let you talk since you are the guest.
No, bro, I love hearing this stuff. This is why I do these like talks, so I can hear what other people think about movies and filmmaking, because a lot of the folks I talk to also aren't really filmmakers. They have maybe a channel about movies and stuff, but they don't quite have the same outlook as you. So I always want to hear everyone's point of view. But to go touch on something you just said, Blood Gorge was going to be shot on VHS originally. It was going to be a shot on video movie. And then, my brother, like I said, he's a photographer. So we were just like, let's try and make it actually look like a movie. And I feel like
if we good.
if we did do the shot on video thing, I don't think it would have, I think it would have opened different doors maybe, but not like, not that we're anywhere now.
We're back. You saw a glitch in our matrix. We came back. The internet gods are now smiling on us. So
yes,
I'm sure what you were saying was super profound and
profound, and I'll never. Yeah, it was a once in a lifetime.
Totally,
thing,
not like we could play this back and never find out what it was. But anyway, the point is, I think that what I dig. Like, I know what we're talking about. You're talking about like the whole VHS, and then you guys decided to shoot it, make it look like a quote unquote real movie. And then
that is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We just changed it up because, like I said, my brother is a photographer, so I didn't want to diminish his. And he's not really into he's into horror movies, but he's like, I feel like I'm more similar to you in that regard, Joel, where it's like, I like the whole. Tim Ritter and like fucking
J.R. Bookwalter's early stuff. And
Bookwalter was so sick. I was going to bring up Bookwalter because
dude, you've seen Ozone, right? Have you ever seen Ozone?
I got to see Ozone on the big screen with him in attendance. What? It was awesome. Dude, in Detroit. It was sick because Small World thing happened actually at that screening. So have you seen his new movie?
Yes, I've got it on VHS right there. Yes.
Oh, Results May Vary. Yeah.
Side
effects may vary. That's what it is. Yep. I got the name wrong. I botched it.
That's okay. You are forgiven.
They did a tour and it came through here. So me and CJ from Blood Gorge went out there. And we met this guy, Matt, who runs a company called Future Video. Mm-hmm. And I was giving out copies or like posters of Blood Gorge. The movie wasn't out yet, but it was coming out the very next day. So I was like, oh, cool. I'll go promote this thing. And then Matt from Future Video was like, hey, man, is this your movie? And I was like, yeah, it's coming out tomorrow on YouTube. And he was like, oh, I'll check it out. And I didn't believe him just because he's on this tour with, Bookwalter and James, what was it? I forget the guy's name. But he's in all of
James
L. Edwards.
Yep.
Yes, and I thought it was. I hate saying the wrong thing.
I know. I do the same thing. But I just am at a point where I just go with it.
Sometimes you gotta. Yeah. So James L. Edwards and Bookwalter were out there, and then Matt was on their tour. And it turns out he actually did watch it the very next day when we put it up, and he's like, "Oh, dude, can I put this out on Blu-ray?" And I was like, "Yeah." So if I didn't go to that thing, we wouldn't have this cool Blu-ray of Blood Gorge.
Awesome. Are there extras on it?
A few, yeah. Actually, this has both movies. It's got Cruel on it as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's got Blood Gorge and Cruel, the Cross Village Encounter. But nice. I forget what the I actually haven't checked mine out yet. I'm a little nervous to pop it in, but it's got the original short that my fiance and I filmed for Blood Gorge. It was a 3-minute long thing. A couple of bloopers, the Lloyd Kaufman intro that we did, and the trailers, and a couple other things, I guess. So
yeah, cool. Now, is that something that we could get through you, or we need to go through MakeFlix?
Either MakeFlix or Future Video, yeah. But yeah, all of Future Video stuff is on the MakeFlix site with Bookwalter, so I think that's really cool.
Cool, yeah, it is. I will procure that because.
Don't worry about it. But I would send you one if this weren't my only copy.
Yeah, no. I'm legit. I'm not fishing to get free shit. Believe me, I'm actually.
No, bro. I'm
weird, and I am totally the kind of person that will buy all of your stuff to support you. So.
Well, thanks.
You do a Kickstarter, brother. I'll be there.
We did, but
did you?
It's long gone. Yeah.
Oh, was this for Hellmare?
It was for Hail Mary, yeah.
Okay.
It was cool. It was a good experience so far.
Good. Cool. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, I'm trying. I have a list of different things, and we kind of gone all over. I actually love the fact that we talked about like creativity and stuff more. I mean,
no.
I was gonna ask you like what part of the process you like the most, what kind you found the most frustrating, as far as making. Like, was there anything you found frustrating, or was it just you go with the flow enough that none of it was? Yeah. It was all perfect.
Honestly, Cruel wasn't like. My found footage thing wasn't a stress at all because we kind of just did it over a couple days when we were free. And Blood Gorge was pretty easy too because we only had 4 consecutive days, and everyone just like crashed at Laura's in my house. So we were all just like there were a few stressful moments because like you gotta like run and gun, you know. But it was really fun. So it was more fun than stress. I think maybe any of the stress might have come from like editing because Vince is down in Florida, so he'll cut something and I'll be like, oh, this has to change. But in the editing process, it takes longer than filming.
Yeah.
But I think I love every aspect of it because like just watching something come together from nothing, like the good, like what my favorite thing is like watching a good pairing of a song to a scene. So, and I think that's what Blood Gorge has going on for it. Like, I think the intro with the music
is, thank you for reminding me. I don't mean to cut you off, bro. That opening is and I'm sure you've heard this already, but in my opinion, Halloween 4, Halloween 4 is like the perfect chef's kiss. If you ever want to feel like in the mood for Halloween and autumn, you watch that. I will now argue number 2 on that list, and a very tight one, is the opening of Blood Gorge. Bro. No, like the way you guys shot that, and I mean, I don't know if it was I'm assuming it was on purpose to be reminiscent of that.
Oh, yeah.
But holy crap, you nailed it. You nailed the shit out of it. It was great.
I think it's awesome, bro. Like that place that we filmed most of those shots, and again, I have to give like 97% of all the props to Vince for that. But like there were a few shots in that opening sequence that I was like, this is the shot, you know what I mean? But then all the stuff at the farm he took, and like in the basement we have like the little skeleton, and out in front like my tree, we just have the decorations. I was like, this is the shot, this is the shot, this is the shot. Yeah. And I knew where they had to be, but then he filled in like the other half with all that sick shit at Blake's. Mm-hmm. And like we grew up going to that place when I was like, as long as I can remember. Honestly, that place, the cider mill, is like one of the reasons I'm really into Halloween and horror movies and stuff, because it just scared the shit out of me when I was a child. So to later on, you know, 35 years later, be able to like film a horror movie and let them, like, they were like, yeah, come on over. That's awesome. Yeah, we just like ran around that place and just fucking like, nobody fucked with us. And I thought they would, because we had to film those segments during opening hours. You know, we didn't have any like spare time. So there were certain shots where we had to make it look like no one was around. And we just got lucky with a couple of the, you know, no one being in our spot. And so genuinely, we really lucked out, because I don't think we could pull that off again the way we did. It was just all coincidence that no one was near us during those times. And it was so funny too, because when we got there, we filmed those opening segments like as it's like sundown or whatever. And then we all stood in line to go on the hayride, the haunted hayride. We were in that line for like 2 hours, and we were like, dude, we are not going to have enough time. And I was like, I know, but we all need to ride the haunted hayride together. And that was like my prerogative. Yeah. And it worked out. It was fun. Like, I mean, the movie would have been maybe 2 minutes longer if we didn't ride the hayride. So it was necessary.
That's a good bonding experience for you and your cast and crew, right?
Oh my God.
Dude, and I will say, and it's fine now that you're saying stuff, it's refreshing my memory. I wanted to also give you kudos. The hits on the girl at the end, the one who gets burned. Oh yeah. The way he's hitting her, like the way he's, you know, and then earlier on, the one girl I guess I'm trying to remember what he's hitting her with. It's been a minute. I'm trying
to the mallet.
Yes, the mallet. Thank you.
Maddie, yeah.
Dude, that looked like, I mean, I don't know if it's just the way you guys, forced perspective, like where you position the camera, sound effects.
Yeah.
That shit looked great.
Cool, because like you can watch the credits, the end credits, and see how we kind of just
I see the bloopers, the kind of like bloopers.
We're like, yeah. No, but with Kate, who did our special effects, so she also did that burn makeup on herself, which was crazy because she did it in no time flat. It was like an hour. She just locked herself in our bathroom and just covered her face and the gnarliest goop. Yeah. And it came out so good. And she did the back of her head, like her whole ass head was just a melty burn. Like she walked out and we were terrified. Like we didn't know what she was going to look like.
Yeah, it looked
good.
Real.
She did it on herself, like no help. She didn't ask me or Laura like for help. She just walked out and looked like that, and we were just like, "What the fuck?" And in fact,
does she have I think her job? Like, does she do this professionally, or is it just?
Yeah. She did, and she did a movie when she was in school called Kecksburg. It's about the real UFO crash in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, in the '60s, and she got to do a couple like gag scenes on that, like an amputated finger scene and something else, like just spraying blood around. So that was like her first like movie she got an IMDb credit for. But then we did Blood Gorge, and then because of Blood Gorge, she got to do a movie out in California. So there's this movie coming out called I Don't Like It Here, and she did the special effects for that. And so it's not like her full.
She really did great, man. It was.
Oh, she kills it. She's incredible. She's a painter and an artist, and she's just super talented. So I just, I think Blood Gorge is only as cool as it is because all my friends are super talented, and my fiance is super talented, and like my brother and my, Kate, my best friend. And it looks as good as it does because of all of them. But I just had a couple of ideas that kind of like, it's like you said, this is the music and stuff. I have these ideas, and then I have to find other people to implement them with me.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for them, it just wouldn't be the same at all.
But to me, that's what being a great filmmaker and as an artist, like it's the ability to realize you can't do it all on your own. You just, you got to do it with, some people do movies completely by themselves, and I'm super impressed when they pull that off. But by and large, I think people need to have at least some people, whether it be a few actors or whether it be a couple people help you with the crew. And I think, and also there's something about making the creativity and the production about them. It's like it's like what you've done is you created opportunity for all these really cool creative people to come together and to make something
right
awesome.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful that they agreed to do it because I think everything is like a stepping stone, and I've explained this to folks before, but I think, if it weren't for Cruel, there'd be no, Blood Gorge. And if it weren't for Blood Gorge, there'd be no Helmet.
Yep.
So this next thing that we're trying to do is supposed to be, our real movie, but we'll see. But I think they were all just learning experiences to get to a place that I'm happy with. I'm happy with Blood Gorge. I think we all are. We just think it's fun as fuck. And so even if not many people, I'd like to think a couple thousand people have seen it. It had like upwards of 4,000 views on YouTube, which is in the grand scheme of things, not a lot. But I mean, it's also sold DVDs and shit. Like other people have bought the Blu-ray. People I don't know are like posting about it, and it's like,
you know what you said though? You said to you, it was fun. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
And here's the key. Why? That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough. And like everything else is gravy. Everything else is gravy, man. It was fun to make. It's fun to know you made this thing out there that people enjoy. The people that like it, and they're the ones that enjoy it. And that's who it's for. At the end of the day, though, it's for you insofar as it was a creative expression. It was fun. And it was just a way for you to put something cool out in the world. And I say it's a big success. So if I say it,
No, I'd love to take those accolades, man. I think it's a success to a degree. Like, I don't know. Again, it's never a flex when I say this, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to take $600 and find all of the right people that are willing to give you their time, to make something that is even watchable. And I think if it's anything, Blood Gorge is definitely watchable, but it's so I think, yes, success. We made a movie, but I think on the next thing, we're just like looking to have a little bit more of a professional attitude, like across the board about it. And so as much as I love these things that we've done already and I'm proud of them, I think it's just, a brick in the wall so far. It's to go back to your body of work statement. I think the next thing we do will be hopefully a statement in our body of work, and it's something we can like look back on and be like, that was as fun as Blood Gorge, but way better of a movie. So and if that's the case, that will be my success for that movie. And I think my brothers and Kate's and Laura's and all of our success is if we had just as much fun, spent twice as much time, and it's a better movie overall. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, brother, I feel like I could talk to you for a long time. I unfortunately have somewhat of a heart out here, but I want to make sure, let everybody know where they can pick up Blood Gorge and Cruel or any of that stuff, support your work.
Well, thank you. And I'd love to come back on later on in life if you're free. If you and Tyson are free. I'm glad we got to do tonight though, bro, because I've already pushed us back, and it's just been hectic with Helmer and
when I tell people like I get it, I legit get it, man. And the fact that you said today, I was like, okay, I got a window. Let's do it. We can do this.
And I knew you would, because I knew you are a filmmaker, and so you would understand. But I just don't like doing that shit to people. So I appreciate you just throwing me on there. But let's do it again. We're active on Instagram and YouTube. Really, they're the only things. And you can hit me up at RFN Pictures, and we have DVDs and tapes, and you can go to Future Video or MakeFlix to get a Blu-ray. I also have this copy of Blood Gorge. It's the Austrian release.
Oh wow, that's a great cover.
It's pretty great. And then we also have Blood Gorge VHS tapes.
Oh, nice.
That our friend Cosmo dubbed. So we got these two movies right now, but there will be more. We also filmed another found footage movie. It's like a paranormal found footage movie that we're still editing, but Helmer is taking precedence. So there will be 4 movies in the near future. I digress. Hit us up on Instagram or YouTube. And I think that's about it, dude. We have a TikTok somewhere, but I've never been on TikTok.
Me either.
Yeah, my brother, he ran it for a while. We'll probably get back into it for, when we start filming Helmer. So I guess Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, RFN Pictures.
Awesome. That's great, man. And a little side note, I will pause. I will it's not like you have to jump off the second I hit stop, but I'm going to cut this out, but I'll let you know. All right. But before we sail to the sunset, I have to say, here at Mom and Pops, our love of
UFO conspiracies
never stops.
Facts.